अन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनाशलाकया चक्षुरोन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपा कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरोन् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातां सहगणा रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनासहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगणा ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च। हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमोस्तुते। तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिति नामिने। नमस्ते सरस्वती देवी गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवास आदि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। ट्रबल बढ़ाइए। हरे कृष्ण हरे कृष्ण हरे कृष्ण हरे कृष्ण। Hare Krishna. So welcome everyone to our weekly Bhagavad Gita class. Thank you for taking out your precious time and coming to attend this Gita class. We are continuing our discussion from Bhagavad Gita as it is. We are on second chapter. I think last time we discussed 40th verse. So far in our discussions in Bhagavad Gita, we have heard Krishna explaining very, very important concepts. The first thing which Krishna spoke to Arjun, he says, Arjun, you are lamenting for the body. The body is eternal. The body is temporary. The soul is eternal. Why are you lamenting for something which is temporary? An intelligent person never laments for temporary things. So therefore, become intelligent. That's how he started. वो भी agree कर रही है. We have to become intelligent. That's why Krishna began with chastising Arjun. You are behaving like a pandit, but actually you are a panditaha. So therefore, Arjun, don't lament for the body. All these relatives in front of you, they were there in the past, they are there now, they will be there in the future in some other form. Arjun says, but I am attached to this form. I want this Bhishma, this Drona. Krishna says, just tolerate the changes. Nobody can avoid changes in this world. The changes are, there is only one thing which is constant in this world, that is change. Rest everything keeps changing. Only change is constant. So it looks little oxymoron, change is constant. But that is the only thing which is there always in everyone's life. And then he explains so many things, describing the characteristics of the soul. Soul cannot be cut, cannot be burnt, cannot be moistened. Can we become God? We can never become God. We can become godly. That is the principle the message of Bhagavad Gita in the second chapter, this. That is between 2.11 to 30. Krishna is explaining the science of soul and emphasizing that we can never become God in many places. In 12th verse, he says that Natvevaham jatunasam natvam neme janadhipa. There was never a time when I did not exist, when you did not exist, when all these kings were not existing, and they will continue to remain in the future also. So all this knowledge should make us go deeper in the understanding that I want to become eternal, but now why I am not eternal? Nobody wants to die, right? Unless one is really frustrated with life. We all want to live, we all want to enjoy, we all want to have knowledge about the world around us. That's why all the news channels are working so nicely. सब कुछ जानना है हमको, One of our very senior sannyasis, he was telling, ये क्या है आजकल ये न्यूज चैनल, ये था कचरा आज तक, इंतजार करिए कल तक. All the people, all these news channels, they get all the garbage which is there in the world, all the things. News में कुछ भी अच्छा रहता है क्या? Most of the news is all about the negative things which are happening in the world. Very few is positive. So what is the need to get all this knowledge of the world? Try to get knowledge about the supreme happiest person, that is Krishna. It is described in scriptures that people are so foolish that they are giving up nectar and drinking poison. Ashcharyam etadhi manushya loke sudham parityajya visham pibanti namani narayana gocharani tyaktvanyavacha kuhaka pathanti. So very astonishing. Ashcharya hai. What is that Ashcharya? Sudham parityajya visham pibanti. They are giving up nectar and drinking poison. What is nectar? What is poison? All the topics of this world, they are poison. They contaminate our consciousness. And the topics of Krishna, Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, it is nectar. You call your friends and relatives for class. Time नहीं है. टाइम किसके लिए नहीं है? इसके लिए टाइम नहीं है, बाकी सबके लिए टाइम है. They are willingly drinking all the negativity of the world. Poison है वो. The more we drink the negative things of the world, the more we see the negative things of the world, naturally it brings our consciousness down. So why not discuss Hari Katha, Krishna Katha? Why not absorb ourselves in the topic of Bhagavad Gita, which are always enlivening, which are always giving life? So then Krishna explained how you are thinking of enjoyment. Whether you go to heaven or you stay here, both ways you will enjoy. If you die, you will go to heaven and enjoy. And if you stay here, you will enjoy as a king here. So both ways enjoyment is there. Heaven जाइए, स्वर्ग जाना है? नहीं जाना है ना? अभी कोई स्वर्ग जाना है हाँ बोलेगा तो फिर गड़बड़ हो जाएगा. Because swarg is also temporary. Nobody is eternally staying in the heaven. Shine punya marti lokam vishanti. After the pious activities are exhausted, come back here. And then Krishna says, Arjun, you are thinking of sinful activities. Work for me. Because working for higher purpose will not affect you, will not give you any sinful reaction. And that is what he is explaining. And this process is called Buddhi Yoga. We heard in the 39th verse. How many of you honestly go and open this Bhagavad Gita once in a ऐसा एक हफ्ते में? कुछ हैं कोई लोग? दिल्ली नहीं, आप नेक्स्ट लेवल वाले हैं. मैं तो लोअर से शुरू करता हूँ. whenever I ask, लोगों को पूछना शुरू करता हूँ ना, नए लोगों को, मैं सबसे पहले पूछता हूँ कितने लोगों ने भगवत गीता खोली है अपने जीवन में. वहां से शुरू करता हूँ. That's why I asked कि कोई एक बार भी पढ़ते हैं क्या? नहीं तो ना मैं रोज पढ़ते हैं बोलेंगे तो फिर मुझे ही टेंशन आ जाएगा. Because very few will raise hands. This is important. थोड़ा थोड़ा पढ़िए. Even if you can't understand anything, still try to open Bhagavad Gita and read Bhagavad Gita. Otherwise, now book distribution month is coming. दिसंबर में बुक डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन करते हैं सब डिवोटीज, कल से शुरू हो रहा है, कल टुमारो इज गीता जयंती, 1 December. Thank you. So just imagine if somebody is distributing Gita, गीता लीजिए, गीता लीजिए, गीता लीजिए, आपका जीवन सुधर जाएगा। वो आके बोलेगा तुम्हारा तो सुधरा हुआ नहीं लग रहा है, तुम इतने दुखी क्यों लग रहे हो? पता नहीं, आप पढ़ो, इसमें लिखा तो है, सुधर गया तो मुझे भी बोल देना। If we are not reading ourselves, then what we'll tell others? बोलते तो हैं कि इसमें कुछ तो है अच्छा। Try to read this. Prabhupada would say these books are like, my books are like law books. If a lawyer is fighting a case, Mataji is a lawyer here, fighting a case and the opposite person is quoting some laws, some sections. So यहाँ वाला lawyer, ये वाला पढ़ा नहीं था यार, अब क्या करूँ, पढ़ के आता हूँ, रुक जाओ। No, you can't do that. If a patient comes to a doctor and says, डॉक्टर साहब यहाँ पे प्रॉब्लम है, अब मैंने ना सॉरी वो MBBS का पहला ईयर में ये वाला सेक्शन पढ़ाना ही था, पढ़ के आता हूँ। You can't do that. So at least we should know. If you don't know the solution, we should know where to find the solution. Sometimes one devotee was telling that in IIT, the teachers, the professors, they set such a hard question paper and they say open book answer है, आप बुक खोल के लिखो। बट ऐसा क्वेश्चन सेट करते हैं कि आंसर ढूंढे कहाँ वो भी पता नहीं चलता है। So at least if you don't know the answer, you should know where to find the answer, which chapter, at least chapter तो पता होना चाहिए, which page, which verse, so that is the next level. So we are not here just to, ठीक है हफ्ते में एक बार आके पढ़ लेते हैं, सुन लेते हैं, अच्छा होता है, अच्छा एंटरटेनमेंट तो अच्छा होता है थोड़ा सा। It is good that we are liking Bhagavad Gita, but the next level is we should know Bhagavad Gita. कहाँ पे क्या है वो जरूरी है। So that is why Krishna Prabhupada said, my books are like law books. Read it carefully you decide the duration. Okay, so in the last verse we heard wonderful, advantage of this devotional practice. This is eternal process. This is never lost. Even a small endeavor on this path is the permanent gain. Now, in the 41st verse, Krishna goes a little deeper. After describing the characteristic of this yoga, in 41st verse, he describes what is the qualification for practicing this yoga. Anything requires qualification, right? Whatever you want to practice, there is one qualification. So what is the qualification? We all need to practice bhakti yoga. Before we go to this verse, any thoughts? To practice bhakti yoga or practicing spiritual life, what is the qualification needed? Yes, faith. Okay. What else? और क्या लगता है आपको कि प्रैक्टिस करने के लिए ये जरूरत है यार? I want to have this quality to practice spiritual life. Huh? Somebody said something. Consistency. Wow, wonderful. Thank you. You're close. Determination. Wonderful. Yes, that is what Krishna says. Who said that? Determination. Okay. नहीं पीछे से आई आवाज. Okay, अच्छा पीछे. Okay. Thank you. So Krishna tells one quality which is needed to practice spiritual life, bhakti yoga, is determination. One pointed focus. We'll recite this verse. Vyavasayatmika buddhi ekeha kurunandana bahushakha hi anantascha buddhayo vyavasayinam. Somebody please read the translation.
Those who are on this path are resolute in purpose, and their aim is one, O beloved child of Gurus, the intelligence of those who are irresolute is many branched.
Okay. Vyavasaya. Vyavasaya is a common word. Vyavasaya means business. So Krishna is saying you should have Vyavasaya Buddhi. What is this Vyavasaya Buddhi? What is needed to do business? You have to be focused. You can't be thinking of too many things when you are doing business. Focus is required. That is called as Vyavasayatmika Buddhi. Resolute determination, focus. Ekeha, not many branched. इधर भी थोड़ा फोकस, इधर भी थोड़ा फोकस, थोड़ा इधर भी. हम सब कुछ करते हैं प्रभु जी. हम आपके जैसे नहीं हैं. We are not fanatic. हम लोग सब कुछ थोड़ा थोड़ा करते हैं. थोड़ा ये भी सब करना चाहिए. व्यवसाय बुद्धि. If somebody is digging to get water, 10 मीटर इधर खोदते हैं, 10 मीटर वहां पे, 100 मीटर पे पानी आएगा ना. 10 meters I'll dig at different places. Will we get water? We have to dig at one place. Vyavasaya. Keep on digging at one place only. That is called as Vyavasaya. Ekeha. One pointed determination. Otherwise, those who are Bahushakha, those who are many branched. I'll do this also, I'll do that also. Jesus, in one of his teachings, he said, either be hot or cool. If you're lukewarm, I spit at you. What's the meaning of this? इतना बड़ा गाली क्यों दे रहे हैं भाई? If you are thinking, I'll do this also and ये भी कर लेंगे, वो भी कर लेंगे, no. Lukewarm means थोड़ा थोड़ा सब कुछ करते हैं हम लोग. थोड़ा ये भी जाते हैं, थोड़ा मूवी भी जाते हैं, थोड़ा फ्रेंड्स के साथ. We never say no to anyone, you know. We are very kind and warm towards everyone. नहीं चलेगा. Any of your friends have told, यार तुम पहले ऐसा नहीं था यार, अभी बदल गए हो. पहले तो हमारे साथ सब जगह आते थे, अभी ना बोलते हैं आप. ऐसा क्यों? You should congratulate yourself. I am doing good. That means if everybody is saying, हाँ ये थोड़ा कभी कभी मंदिर भी जाते हैं, अदरवाइज हमारे जैसे ही, मतलब कुछ गड़बड़ है. If we are Bahushakha, then we will not get the result. Bahushakha hi anantascha buddhayo avyavasayinam. Avyavasai means those who are not in spiritual life, not in Krishna consciousness. They have many branched determination. It is a simple process. Nothing glorious is achieved if we are not one-pointed in our life. Anything. Study, business, work, whatever. Relationships. If we are not investing one-pointed time in any of these things, we will not get the result. So it is very, very important. Because this world is full of temptations. So many temptations keep coming. As soon as we sit with Bhagavad Gita, suddenly a thought comes. Hey, Bhagavad Gita लेके क्या बैठा है यार, इतना सारा बाकी है काम, ये तो कभी भी पढ़ सकते हैं. Suddenly so many desires will come, so many other thoughts will come. Please take out second chapter, 70th verse. Krishna says, a spiritual practitioner should have a quality of desirelessness. That means he should not be disturbed by all the material desires which are put in his mind. 2.70. Apuryamanam? 2.70. Apuryamanam achala pratishtham samudramapa pravishanti yadvat tadvad kamayam pravishanti sarve sashanti mapnoti nakamakami. This Krishna is giving a wonderful example in this verse. He says, rivers enter into ocean, but ocean never overflows. Why? Why ocean never overflows, never crosses the border? Because it is vast and deep. Many times our heart is very shallow. It is not deep. We are not so strongly, deeply rooted in spiritual life. So any thought comes, overflows. And we try to do all the other things also. The more we go deep in the process of Krishna consciousness, the more we will not be disturbed by the things of the world. For that, to go deep, what is needed? Be at one place. Focus. One pointed focus is needed to go deeper in spiritual life. That is very important. Otherwise, even after 5 years, 10 years, if we are not focused, and our focus is decided principally by our chanting. The commitment towards this process of spiritual life is not decided by coming to Gita classes. It is decided by how much we are dedicated to this process of chanting in our remaining 6 days. Because coming once a week तो ठीक है ना, थोड़ा spiritual entertainment कर सकते हैं हम लोग. No, it is not spiritual entertainment. It is a serious business. And if we are not committing to chanting, Krishna will not take us seriously. Krishna will बोलेंगे ठीक है तू entertainment कर रहा है मैं भी entertainment करूँ. I will not give the desired result. What is the result we want? By all our spiritual practices, what do we want? Krishna prem, अरे बाप रे. So ultimately we want to get connected to the Lord. Want to love Him. अरे वो क्या ऐसा दुकान में ऐसा 2 रुपए में मिलने वाली चीज नहीं है ना. Very costly. We have to endeavor a lot. We have heard in the case of Dhruv Maharaj when he went to do tapasya and he pleased the Lord. Lord appeared in front of him. Narad Muni comes and tells his father, Uttanpad. He says, "O king, your son has done the most difficult task in the entire creation." What Dhruva did? He pleased the Lord. What are we trying to do? Please the Lord. What is that? Sudushkaram karam kritva. It is most difficult. So the path which we want, the destination we want is not so easy. So we should also endeavor for it accordingly. नहीं तो फिर ठीक है अच्छा लगता है हाँ थोड़ा सुन लेते हैं नहीं सुन लेते हैं that is good but practice is important. If you are not practicing regularly then it will be difficult. So that's why this Vyavasaya Buddhi is very important. Prabhupada writes, a strong faith that by Krishna consciousness one will be elevated to the highest perfection of life is called Vyavasayatmika intelligence. Vyavasayatmika intelligence. That means this will give me the highest. That should be our conviction. If we have doubts, and we have heard about these doubts, doubting, we have heard about 3 things in 4th chapter. Agyascha, Ashraddhadhanascha, Sanshayatma, Vinashyati. Ignorant, doubtful, and faithless people, they are destroyed. Which is the most dangerous out of 3? Ignorance, faithless, and doubtful. Doubtful. ये छोटी आवाज कहाँ से आ रही है? Okay, wonderful. So child also knows doubtful. Doubting soul. That's why Prabhupada writes, he speaks in one place, doubting soul has no, good destination. We have to be free of this doubt कि पता नहीं काम करेगा कि नहीं करेगा, गलती तो नहीं कर दिया, जल्दी तो नहीं आ गए, सब दुनिया तो बोल रही है वाह वाह मजा आ रहा है, और ये हमें बोल के लाए थे कि विल बी चैंट हरे कृष्णा एंड बी हैप्पी. यहाँ पे तो काहे का चैंटिंग और काहे का बी हैप्पी. चैंटिंग इज अ मिजरेबल एक्टिविटी. माला उठाने से लगता है क्यों उठा रहा हूँ, मन में तो पहले से ही चलता रहता है टेप, मत उठा, बिल्कुल नहीं, टच मत करना, डेंजरस है वो. So we have to understand, if you are not reading regularly, all these things will keep coming in the mind. And that's why our resolutions, they never last. How many of you make New Year resolutions? Nobody makes, only Manthan makes. बाकी लोगों का क्या मालूम, बनाने का फायदा ही नहीं, वो टिकता तो है नहीं. But you know what? Whatever time it stays, that is our benefit. Don't run away from making resolutions just because they don't last. अरे थोड़ा दिन तो चलेगा, हम लोग पहले ही करने का फायदा ही नहीं है, होगा तो है नहीं. अरे कौन पूछ रहा है आपको नहीं होगा तो कोई बात नहीं. इवन इफ यू स्टे फॉर 1 week, कुछ तो किया आपने, पर you know, something substantial. So it is so very important, you know, to have this one pointed determination. If something, we know that this object is soluble in water. If we have one object which is soluble in water, we'll keep it protected so that it will not come in touch with humid environment. You know, that's why we should know what is the appropriate environment to protect anything. To protect our resolutions, what is the environment which is needed? That we should know. Otherwise, पता नहीं चलता तो है नहीं मेरा resolution. आज बनाया और कल गया. What is the environment which is needed? That is the question. The simple thing is, try to make friends with those people who are determined in their resolutions. All of us will have some people. If I want to do something, okay, I want to read Gita every day. Try to find somebody who is good in reading every day. Naturally, it will come to us. So we have to find proper environment in which we can practice this resolution. Otherwise, they will die very quickly. So, currently, our resolutions are in our mind. They are surrounded by the ideas of our mind. And the mind dissolves any of our resolutions so easily. Before even making the resolutions, the mind says, last time बनाया था कुछ हुआ? कुछ नहीं हुआ. दोबारा बनाने का क्या फायदा है? We'll waste time in making the resolution. So that's why it is so very important. Mind can dissolve any of our resolutions if it is not controlled, if it is not in proper state of consciousness. So therefore, Prabhupada writes, this strong faith that by practicing spiritual life, I will get all the results. That is called as Vyavasayatmika intelligence. So we need to change the conceptions that okay, ठीक है, ये करेंगे तो होगा, ये करेंगे तो नहीं होगा. My mind will always say negative things, so I will not make any resolutions. We have to change those thoughts. That's why we read scriptures. How Prahlad was determined. हम बोलेंगे वो तो प्रहलाद थे ना. And that's the first thing mind says, वो तो प्रहलाद थे. मैं तो कलयुगा प्रोडक्ट, 21st century कलयुगा जीव, वो तो सतयुग वाले थे. It's okay. Whatever he had, that same thing is available to all of us, provided we do it properly. We'll also get, by learning the principles from these great personalities. Slowly apply it. Don't try to become successful in one day. आज भर्ती और कल चक्रवर्ती. नहीं होता है ऐसा, टाइम लगता है. Don't expect too much out of yourself. Give yourself time. Even if you fail 100 times, no problem. Keep endeavoring. That is very important, Because spiritual practices are time-tested formula. It is not that पता नहीं आपके ऊपर एक्सपेरिमेंट कर रहे हैं, लग गया तो बाकियों को बताएंगे. No, it is a time-tested formula. It is proven. It works. The more we practice, the more we become focused. That's what Krishna tells to Arjun. In the 6th chapter, Krishna speaks that. Actually, Arjun in 6.35, I think, he says, Krishna, all the yoga system which you have described to me, it is so very difficult to practice because my mind is very restless. Which verse is this? Chanchalami mana Krishna? 34 है ना, Chanchalami mana. So Krishna says, Arjun says, "Oh Arjun, oh Krishna, my mind is restless, chanchal, pramathi, balavat, and dridham." He gives 4 adjectives to the mind. 6.34, chanchalam. So he says chanchal, pramathi. Pramathi means it is agitating. It is just like a small child. He is restless. इधर भागेंगे उधर भागेंगे, भागते रहेंगे, बच्चे भागते रहते हैं ना, उसको बिठाया जा सकता है. नहीं, आपके बारे में नहीं बोल रहे, वैसे देख रहे हो मेरे बारे में, ऐसा बोल रहे, उसको बिठाया जा सकता है. But if he is agitated also, doesn't sit properly, then it is more difficult. So mind is like that, chanchal, pramathi. And what if a grown-up person is chanchal and pramathi? He is strong also. उसको कैसे बिठाएंगे? More difficult. And on top of it, it is dridham also. It is obstinate. That's our mind. So it is not so easy to control the mind. One example is given about the mind. मर्कटस्य सुरापाणं मध्ये वृश्चिकदंशनं तन्मध्ये भूत संचारो यदवा तदवा भविष्यति. Monkeys are by nature very peaceful, ना? मरकटा, उसको क्या हुआ? सुरापाणम, उसको थोड़ा पिलाया, पानी नहीं. मरकटा से सुरापाणम, उसके बाद he was bitten by a scorpion. मध्य वृश्चिक दंशनम. Then तन्मध्ये भूत संचारो, उसमें भूत घुस गया. That is our mind many times. So very restless. You can't predict our own mind sometimes. So Arjun बोल रहे हैं, कृष्णा आप इतना सारा बता रहे हो, मेरा माइंड तो इतना चंचल है, कैसे प्रैक्टिस करूंगा ये सब? 35th verse will recite. Krishna is giving a solution. He says, yes Arjun, first time Krishna agrees to Arjun कि जो आप बोल रहे हैं ना, it is right. असंशयम श्री भगवान उवाच असंशयम महाबाहो मनो दुर्निग्रहं चलम् अभ्यासेन तु कौन्तेय वैराग्येण च गृह्यते. Translation please somebody.
Lord Shri Krishna said, "O mighty armed son of Kunti, it is undoubtedly very difficult to curb the restless mind, but it is possible by suitable practice and by detachment."
Yes, so he gives 2 methods. He first agrees, बेटा सही बोल रहा है, माइंड इज डिफिकल्ट टू कंट्रोल. असंशय, इसमें कोई संशय नहीं अर्जुन. मनो दुर्निग्रहम चलम, वेरी डिफिकल्ट, बट अभ्यास एंड वैराग्य, प्रैक्टिस, detachment from what? Detachment from all the distractions. We know our distractions, right? To make our resolution strong, first thing which is needed is to stay away from those things which distract us. That is very important in our day-to-day life in 21st century, in the age of social media, where so many pop-ups keep coming. And आजकल तो लोग ऐसा करने में घंटों निकाल देते हैं. मतलब 10 people are sitting and everybody is doing like this. Every second they are scrolling. वे एक सेकंड भी रुकते भी नहीं है वो. So that is the distraction level of the people. Any of you have experienced any time? Why did I waste so much of my time on social media? After wasting time ही ना. इतना क्यों टाइम वेस्ट कर दिया? कुछ भी अच्छा नहीं मिला. It was not even interesting also. मतलब ऐसा भी नहीं कि कुछ बहुत इंटरेस्टिंग देखा तो टाइम वेस्ट हो गया. It was not even interesting. ऐसा करने में टाइम निकल जाता है. When we, it is said, when we fall for anything, then we can't commit to anything. When we fall for everything, we can't commit to anything. ये सब कुछ देखते रहते हैं. क्यों देखना भाई सब कुछ? और कुछ लोग, ऑल ऑफ यू मस्ट हैव एक्सपीरियंस्ड, यू नो, ट्रेन में, यू आर ट्रैवलिंग लोकल ट्रेन में, और एक व्यक्ति ही इज मूविंग, इज स्ट्रोलिंग, एंड दूसरे लोग उसको देखते रहते हैं. और दे आर नॉट इन कंट्रोल ऑल्सो. वो बैठा वाला चला रहा है और उनको मजा ऐसा, अरे रुक जा थोड़ा सा. क्या मतलब हालत खराब है, you know. So we have to understand the most important thing for a spiritualist is to be focused, to use time intelligently. Otherwise, सब कुछ होने के बाद बोलेंगे टाइम नहीं है, अभी कहाँ चैंटिंग और कहाँ भगवद गीता. अव्यर्थ कालत्वम is very important. Not wasting time. You know, and to resist distractions, we should have a positive attraction for something in life. All of us, we should try to understand what do I like in Krishna consciousness. कुछ तो पसंद होगा ना आपको. Something we must be attracted to in our spiritual practices, either kirtan or chanting or hearing or taking darshan or reading some Vaishnav songs. Something we should be attracted to. इम्पोर्टेंट, वो सॉरी भूल गया, वो तो सबसे इम्पोर्टेंट है. लेकिन प्रसाद ज्यादा नहीं खा सकते ना. कितना खाएंगे प्रसाद? अरे कहाँ नहीं, कितना खाओगे? We have a limitation. So try to, you know, find what attracts you in spiritual life. As soon as your mind gets upset with, and you know, not upset, gets bored with some spiritual practices, try to do those things which you are liking to do. कुछ तो अच्छा लगता होगा ना. Try to find out what attracts you in spirituality. You know, some people like to memorize shlokas, some people like to see some deities, photos, or आजकल तो सब कुछ है मोबाइल में, सब कुछ है. You know, mobile can be used for good things and for all the wrong things also. So we have to understand what attracts us in spiritual practices, you know. So therefore, we should have some positive attraction. Then only we can resist the temptations. Then only we can be ekeha kurunandan. नहीं तो ekeha kurunandan तो बहुत दूर की बात हो जाएगी. We have to have some higher taste. इधर नहीं है, इसमें है, चलो ये तो कर लेंगे. That's what Krishna says. Please take out 59th verse, second chapter. You know, Krishna says that you have to develop some higher taste. अपने गोविंदास का सबटाइटल रहता है ना, the higher taste. We have to develop higher taste. Not just in prasad, वो तो default setting है अपना. Even if a newcomer comes, he is attracted to prasad, but that prasad doesn't, you know, sustain us for long. In the beginning days, Prabhupada told his disciples, eat so much that you walk like ducks. तो इतना खाओ कि चलने को भी नहीं होना चाहिए. ऐसा हुआ है किसी को एक्सपीरियंस? इतना खा लिया है ना, आप नहीं, आपके लिए नहीं, जो यंगस्टर वाले हैं वो लोग इतना खाते हैं, कभी कभी खाया कभी इतना, यार चलने को भी नहीं हो रहा है, बैठ जाते हैं एक जगह. So one time Prabhupada took few of his disciples, American disciples, to India to a life member's home. Indian devotee थोड़ा अच्छे फेवरेबल थे. ये लोग पहली बार किसी इंडियन माता जी के घर जा रहे हैं. They don't know what happens on the table, dining table. So बैठ गए सब लोग, और वो माता जी डालती जा रही हैं, 1 पूरी, 2 पूरी, 3 पूरी, और ये बोल रहे नहीं, और माता जी नहीं किया तो 2 और डाल रही हैं. सो वो भी बोल रहे अभी डाला तो अभी खाना पड़ेगा ना. खाते जा रहे हैं. And they go back, and one devotee starts shouting, Prabhupada, my stomach is paining. Prabhupada said, you ate 20 chapuris. Others started laughing. He said, don't laugh, you ate 15. He said, how do you know? Prabhupada said, I was counting. तो खाने में क्या है, खाना, prasad is a luxury. One time one of our devotees, South Indian, यहाँ पे कोई South Indian है? Oh, sorry. पहले sorry बोल देता. तो one of our South Indian devotees, he went to one devotee, he was South Indian. तो उन्होंने इडली, वड़ा, डोसा, first class quality बनाया था. And this devotee ate few vadas and then he was shy. So Mataji, he wanted to eat more, but तो बोले अभी 4 बार तो ले चुका हूँ यार. तो माताजी बोले कितना खा रहा है. So he said नहीं खाना, नहीं. तो माताजी बोल रहे नहीं प्रभु जी लीजिए ना, शर्माइए ना मत, लीजिए. नहीं माताजी नहीं. अरे लीजिए ना. ठीक है माताजी 5 और डाल दो. So prasad, after some time, in the beginning days, Prabhupada said, eat as much as you like, walk like ducks. So after few years, when devotees were a little old, then Prabhupada started telling you should control your eating. The devotee said, Prabhupada, few years back, you said we should eat so much that we walk like ducks. Prabhupada said, last time when I said that, you followed me, right? Now what I am saying, control yourself, so follow my words. अब नहीं करेंगे, क्योंकि पहले वाला easy था ना. So try to develop some higher taste. 2.59 विषया विनिवर्तन्ते निराहारस्य देहिनः रसवर्जं रसोप्यस्य परं दृष्ट्वा निवर्तते. Translation please somebody.
Though the embodied soul may be restricted from sense enjoyment, the taste for sense objects remains. But ceasing such engagements by experiencing a higher taste is fixed in consciousness.
Yes. Vishaya param drishtva nivartate. We have to develop a higher taste. If we develop a higher taste, naturally the lower taste will go. If somebody gives you dry chapati और यहाँ पे एकदम मालपुआ रखा है, तो मालपुआ खाने के बाद चपाती का attraction रहेगा. That is called as higher taste. Naturally the lower taste will go. मेरे को सुन के खुश हो रहा है. उसको बोलते हैं श्रुति सुख. सुनने में मजा आता है. वो मालपुआ के ऊपर रबड़ी, एकदम जूस टपक रहा है. आज नहीं है वो स्वीट में. So we have to understand, unless we develop a higher taste, the lower taste will not go. We will not be focused in our spiritual practices. So we have to endeavor for it. When we endeavor for it, then only we get the grace of the Lord. When Lord sees, beta bahut mehnat kar raha hai. Even if he doesn't like to do something, still he is doing it for me. Even if we don't want to chant, still we are chanting. Krishna is pleased by that. Even if we think यार क्यों माला कर रहा हूँ, लेकिन बोला है तो करना चाहिए, ठीक है कर लेते हैं. That also attracts Krishna's attention. So that is very important, So determination is required. Otherwise it will be difficult. We all have, sometimes we think we don't have any determination. But it is in everyone. Prabhupada would say very strongly, if we don't have determination, we are an animal. Any human being has determination. If somebody says nahi hai determination, not possible. Everybody has determination. We use it for wrong things. So try to use it for right things. Then we will see miracles happening in our life. There are many things we do in our life and still we don't like, but we do it because I am determined. Any examples? There are many things in our life I don't like to do, but still I do because I have determination to do this.
Getting up early.
Okay, सुबह उठना है. Okay, yes. Any other things I don't like to do, but still I have to do it, and I am determined to do it. Exercise. School. मम्मी है इधर. बैठे हैं. So we naturally do so many things in our life which we don't like to do because we have determination. Why? Because I know the end result. The end result gives me determination. भाई ये नहीं होगा तो गड़बड़ हो जाएगा. If I don't practice, if I don't exercise, if I don't study, then it will be difficult. We know the importance of it and we know the purpose of it. That makes us resolute, determined. Therefore, we should know why we are doing what we are doing. Purposeful spiritual practices are very important. If somebody asks you, why are you going for this Gita class, and you start thinking, maybe वही सोच रहा हूँ, then it is just a matter of time we will stop coming. We should know why I am doing this. Why I am reading Gita, why I am chanting, why is very important, And in spiritual life, many times we don't get the immediate joy. Many of us or most of us don't feel excited when we think chanting karna hai. Wow, chanting karna hai, Hari wo. How many of us have this experience? Chanting karna hai, maja aayega. ऐसा होता है किसी को ecstasy? अच्छा बना बोले नहीं तो मैं बोला आप आ जाइए इधर आप इकला दे दो भाई. And there may be some people, some devotees at once, out of humility they may say that, they may not say, but generally for most of the practicing devotees, we are not excited by the thought of chanting. But still we do it because we know the purpose. I have to do it, I know it is very important for my spiritual practices. ये नहीं करेंगे तो everything else is not so important. Srila Prabhupada said 90% of our spiritual practices depend on chanting. And if we are not increasing our chanting, then it will not give us the desired result. It is very important, And we should not expect immediate joy. अभी मजा आना चाहिए. ये क्लास में मजा आना चाहिए. मजा आएगा तो जाएंगे. मजा नहीं आएगा तो मूवी देख लेंगे, उसमें क्या है? We should not expect immediate joy. There is happiness in 3 modes. Sattva guna, Rajoguna, Tamoguna. What is happiness in mode of goodness? Yattad agre visham iva pariname amritopam tat sukham satvikam proktam atma buddhi prasadajam. Krishna speaks in 17th chapter. What is the happiness in the mode of goodness? Agre visham. In the beginning, it is like poison. अच्छा नहीं लगता है. In the end, it is nectar. Any examples of happiness in the mode of goodness? आप लोगों ने जो examples दिए, all these are goodness examples, right? We don't like to study, we don't like to exercise, we don't like to chant. Still we do it because end result is good. Happiness in the mode of passion. शुरू में तो मजा आता है. Just like if somebody eats a very spicy, hot meal at night. You must have seen some people ऐसा मिर्ची खाते हैं, अरे तीखा लग रहा है, और 4-5 खा लेते हैं. ऐसा आँख से पानी आता है खाते खाते, फिर भी खाते हैं. Next morning, संसार दावा नल्ली डलो. फिर लगता है अरे यार क्यों खाया. यत्तद अग्रे अमृतोपमं परिणामे विषम तत् सुखम राजसम प्रोक्तम. वो राजसी सुख है. शुरू में तो मजा आता है, बाद में लगता है क्यों खाया. किसी को ऐसा जीवन में कभी लगा है खाने के बाद नहीं खाना चाहिए था? बहुत बार लगता है, बहुत बार लगता है. तो तुमको भी लगता है? नहीं, वो उसको बोल रहा हूँ, आराध्या. And what is happiness in the mode of ignorance? In the beginning it is painful, in the end also it is painful. All the intoxications come in that. Painful. So we should not seek immediate joy in our spiritual practices. मजा आएगा तो करेंगे, मजा नहीं आएगा नहीं करेंगे. ये क्लास में मजा आएगा तो जाएंगे, ये क्लास में मजा नहीं आएगा तो नहीं जाएंगे. Whether you like it or not, come for a weekly dosage. However the speaker may be. Of course, the speaker is never bad. It is all our understanding. Because हमको लगता है ये जो कुक मारते हैं तो अच्छा रहता है. It is our regular practice. Whether you like it or not, we should read it. We should come. We should do our spiritual practices. And for that, our association matters a lot. You know. Prabhupada in the purport, he describes the example of Shraddha. What is faith? Shraddha shabde vishwas kahe sudrida nischay krishne bhakti koile sarva karma krita hai. Shraddha means unflinching trust in something sublime. विश्वास क्या होना चाहिए? कृष्णे भक्ति कोइले सर्व कर्म कृत. If I connect myself to God, to Krishna, everything rest will fall in place. सब हो जाएगा. I have to just keep this one thing constant in my life, and rest everything will fall in place. That is a faith of a spiritual practitioner. ये एक चीज को कांस्टेंट रखना है बस, बाकी सब हो जाएगा ठीक. That is faith, you know. So, Prabhupada writes, he says, in the second paragraph, the first line, he says, the resolute purpose of a person in Krishna consciousness is based on knowledge. And that's what we were discussing. Why? Knowledge is very important. क्यों कर रहे हैं भाई? If we don't know the purpose, then every second day the mind will say, मत जा, मत कर, मत पढ़. You know, some people, they get irritated very easily. And have you ever wondered why? इतनी जल्दी क्यों irritated हो जाते हैं? And some people, they don't get irritated at all. उनको irritate नहीं होते हुए देख के बाकी लोग irritate होते हैं. इतना शांत कैसे है? दुनिया परेशान हो रही है, अरे शांति से बैठे. You know, people, they carry their baggages of unnecessary thoughts, and that triggers something in them when they are exposed to some situations. So the more we reduce our mental baggage, the more we can be peaceful and determined. It is described that in our mind so many thoughts go on. 98% of our thoughts in our day-to-day life, they are waste thoughts or negative thoughts. Only 2% are positive or necessary thoughts. So by our spiritual practices, we have to increase our positive thoughts. We have to increase our necessary thoughts. Necessary we have to do, okay, aaj ye karna hai, ye karna hai. These are necessary thoughts. Positive thoughts, we have to increase them, you know. And then slowly we'll become determined. Because we are not disturbed by unnecessary baggage of our thoughts. It is very important. Keep reading the scriptures regularly. That is important. See some, anyways, we are on YouTube and all the Instagram. Try to see those things which are favorable for spiritual practices. Don't just keep scrolling. ऐसा मत करिए, थोड़ा उसको कम करिए. Try to see that which is, and even in spiritual subject matters. हम लोग एक स्पिरिचुअल वीडियो देखने के लिए 10 बार ऐसा करेंगे, ये अच्छा क्या, ये अच्छा, उसमें 10 मिनट चला गया. Don't just become spiritual shoppers. ये भी देख ले, ये देखना. Determine and decide what you want to see and then only open the YouTube. पहले डिसाइड करो, अच्छा ये देखना है मेरे को, ये ढूंढना है. Don't just enter YouTube and then see, अच्छा ये अच्छा लग रहा है तब देख लेते हैं. Don't do that. Please make a schedule about your life. Don't allow your mind to make schedule for us. You should not do that. And try to apply things slowly. Most of us have some time of our life which must have thought, jaldi uthna chahiye nahi. And if somebody is getting up at 8 o'clock and next morning he thinks, कल से मैं 4 बजे उठूंगा. किसने ऐसा ट्राई किया कभी? 8 बजे उठने वाला, उसके मन में आया कल से 4 बजे, और एक दिन मतलब ऐसा एंडेवर मार के उठ भी गया, वो 4 बजे उठा हो, और ऐसा विक्ट्री फ्लैग पहले 4 बजे उठा. बाकी 7 दिन 9 बजे तक सोएगा। कंपेंसेशन करना है ना भाई। When you want to do something positive in your life, start slow. Take small steps. If we are chanting 2 rounds, आज का लेक्चर सुन के ना मुझे लग रहा है 16 माला तो शुरू करना ही चाहिए। 16 माला 2 दिन चलेगा, उसके बाद 8 दिन गायब। क्यों? प्रभु जी, I was chanting 2 rounds every day, you know. So today I chanted 16 rounds. So next 8 days का हो गया ना? Try to increase slowly so that your mind gets time to adjust to the newness. Then you will become little focused. Very important, you know. So don't try to change things immediately. It will be difficult. This Vyavasaya Buddhi is a big subject. How to become determined, how to, do things as per my desire. How we are not allowing our mind to control us. उसके लिए बहुत time लगता है. Start slowly. One time, I think I have spoken this story. One time there was a Greek wrestler. His name was Milo. One day he entered the wrestling arena carrying a bull on his back. Full grown bull. So powerful he was. So everybody was shocked. Oh, Milo is so powerful. And he was asked, how you did that? He said, when this bull was a small calf, from that day on, every day I carry him for half an hour. In due course, this bull grew and my strength also grew. So it doesn't happen overnight. It takes time. This resolution takes time. Even if you fall down 100 times, all of you must have seen children when they learn walking. कितनी बार गिरते हैं? ऐसा कोई बच्चा बोलता है अभी उठेंगे ही नहीं, बस हो गया। कितने बार गिरने का भाई? No, the child gets up. Learn from the child. जितने बार भी गिरो, उठो. Get up and walk again. It will take time, but it will happen for sure. We should not be so much disturbed by our fall downs. Krishna speaks a very beautiful verse in Srimad Bhagavatam. He says, Badhyamanopi madbhakto vishayairajitendriyaha prayah pragalbhaya bhaktya vishayairna vibhuyate. He says, my devotee, he is bound by sense gratificatory desires. बंधा हुआ है वो बेचारा। किससे? विषयों से। Desires for enjoying the things keeps coming ना, आता रहता है। ये भी कर लेंगे, वो भी कर लेंगे, ये देख लेंगे, मजा आएगा। बध्यमानोपि मद्भक्तो विषयैर अजितेंद्रिय, he cannot win over his senses. हमारा स्टोरी लग रहा है? We cannot win over our senses. But Krishna says, you know what my devotee does? Prayah pragalbha bhakti. Pragalbha means intense. छोड़ता नहीं। मैं जितने बार भी गिरूंगा लेकिन उठ के तो यही करूंगा, कभी फीडबैक लेके नहीं जाऊंगा। I will never leave. Even if Krishna tells, बेटा बस छोड़ दे, नहीं होगा तेरे से, फिर भी नहीं छोड़ूंगा मैं। That is a determination of a devotee. And then Krishna says, Vishayer na vibhuyate. He may lose some battles, but he'll win the war for sure. That is the determination. कि भाई कुछ भी हो, I will not give up. Even if the whole world says तेरे से नहीं होगा, still I'll do it. Because I have faith in Krishna. Because Krishna has not given up on me. Why should I give up? So that is how we should be focused. Ekeha kurunandana. You have to keep on digging at one place only. अलग अलग जगह खोदेंगे तो कुछ नहीं निकलेगा. We have to be focused. Prabhupada writes, such a personality who has a resolute person, Vasudeva Sarvamiti Sa Mahatma Sudurlabha. It is rare. It is a rare path of spiritual life. We should not get disturbed by our failures. But practice it. Keep on practicing. Then slowly we will become successful for sure. A serious devotee, he is defined by the sense of purpose and sense of urgency. Seriousness of purpose and sense of urgency. These are two very important things. Seriousness of purpose and sense of urgency. अर्जेंट है भाई, करना है. ऐसा नहीं कि ठीक है कर लेंगे, आज नहीं तो 5 साल के बाद. Urgent. We should be serious about our spiritual practices. Otherwise, it will be difficult. We'll keep on, coming for all the discussions. But if we really want to experience that joy of spiritual life, endeavor, focus, one-pointed determination is very important. And then Srila Prabhupada says, what is one thing which is required to get this determination? Serve those who are practicing it determinedly. Association and serving, being in close association of those who are practicing it. Try to serve. What can we do as a service? Just like in this month of marathon, try to distribute this Gita to somebody, or try to bring somebody closer to Krishna consciousness. Some endeavor, some practice we have to do. That's why Prabhupada says, service in Krishna consciousness is best practiced under the guidance of a spiritual master. When we serve according to the directions, then we receive the mercy. Yasya prasadat Bhagavad prasado, yasya prasada nagati kutopi. Prabhupada quotes that verse. So that is a process. Prabhupada writes in the last paragraph. The whole process, however, depends on perfect knowledge of the soul beyond the conception of the body. Not theoretically, but practically. When there is no longer a chance for sense gratification manifested in fruitive activities. So that's how this process of Krishna consciousness requires the qualification of Ekeha Kurunandana. And then Krishna will say in the next paragraph, next verse, what will happen? Those who are attracted by immediate benefits, they can never achieve perfection. That he will describe in the next verse in great detail. Okay, so we'll stop here. Anybody has any questions? Any questions or comments anybody has? Okay, so it seems there are no questions. We'll stop here. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki jai.